Hey, Jade.
Hey, Tom.
It's the playoffs.
Great.
Do you know what those are?
Where not all the teams have to play.
Yeah.
And then kind of like the, oh my God, what's it called? Brackets. You know, they play each other and then it gets down to the end too. And that's called the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Yeah. Aren't you proud of me?
You know a lot for a Vikings fan. Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to another episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. We got a bye week, baby. Grossi, and today...
Whoa, I'm Jade Grossi.
Oh, sorry. Forgot about you.
Obviously. I'm sitting right here. You just talked to me like a minute ago.
Just like the Vikings forgot to be a good football team this year.
I don't even want to talk about it. Well, we don't have to talk about it. Great.
Because the Vikings aren't there.
Yeah, that's the point. Let's go.
No, I'm just going to sit in this a little bit longer.
What are you sitting in? Did you fart? Are you sitting in a fart?
No, but the Vikings certainly did crap the bed. So, to finish off the season, I went 14-2 last week. Thank you. 174, 81, and 1 on the season, while Jade went 10-6, respectable.
Meh.
Still better than the Vikings record. 154, 101, and 1 on the season, a difference of 20 games. I don't remember what last year's was, but I feel like it was closer.
Great. Thanks, Tom.
No, I just wanted to make sure you knew that. Because last year, the Vikings were also in the playoffs. So just like the Vikings' performance, your performance this year, it's just...
Do you want to do this? I can leave.
What the Vikings defense said. And so we got a SUPER Wildcard Weekend, or at least that's how they're promoting it. And they're also going to be featured on Nickelodeon. I wish that was not a fact. Yep, they're going to be featuring a wildcard game on Nickelodeon to make it more accessible to kids. And there's going to be like slime effects on the TV. And yeah.
I didn't know so many children were interested in watching football that their parents weren't already watching on a regular network channel.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm surprised because they should have just had that over the Vikings game since all of them have been a joke. So we got 6 matchups to talk about this week, and we got ad revenue to make, so we're still going to drag this son of a gun out to be 25
it's just
minutes.
It's going to be as long as it turns out to be. No dragging.
That's right. Just going to get the job done.
Yeah.
Because we're efficient.
Quick.
Okay, well, I didn't say that. I said efficient. I said because I was making it.
Usually when something is efficient, it works faster.
Okay, but it still gets the job done.
No one said that it didn't.
That's right.
That's, I feel like, part of the definition of efficiency is
innuendos.
To work as well as be quick.
Sexual things.
Nope. Not at all.
That's what we've been talking about the whole time.
Just the vocabulary word efficient.
Nope.
Efficiency.
All about consummation.
Nope.
Yep.
We're not on the same page.
We are
not
on the same book.
We're in the same marriage and the same house. But that might be the extent of it.
And even that might be pushing it a little bit.
Fair.
So taking a look at this Saturday in the first of 3 games, you got the Indianapolis Colts traveling to take on the Buffalo Bills. The Bills clinching the number 2 seed last week, dominating, decimating, destroying, disintegrating
alliteration
the Dolphins. It was ugly. 56 points on that defense.
Ooh, wow, really?
Yeah.
That was the score?
Yeah.
Ooh.
86.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a bad one. The Bills have been playing some really damn good football. Arguably the best football in the past month and a half. The Colts, they beat the Jaguars, so that's something. It's something. It's not really an accomplishment, but, you know, it is what it is. But the Colts, you know, Jonathan Taylor had an amazing game, over 200 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns, and they're going to need to bring that power running game in a whole lot more. Phillip Rivers was pretty pedestrian last week, and so for the Colts to have a chance in this game, they really got to bring it. Their defense, they could be the difference maker here, though the Bills' defense did play really good against Tua.
Ticonderoga.
Exactly. This should be a close game, but I just like the Bills so much right now. And the Bills, they're playing at home.
There's no question. We're both going for the Bills.
It's got to go with the Bills. Got to go with the Bills.
No doubt.
You got the LA Rams taking on the Seattle Sea Chickens. The Seahawks involved in a close matchup with the 49ers until the very end, in which both teams then started lighting it up in the fourth quarter. Seahawks were able to come away with the W, clinching that number 3 seed, which, by the way, they would have been the number 1 seed if the Giants didn't beat them. Yes, it's beautiful. The Rams, well, they were able to take down the Kyler Murray-less Cardinals, even though Jared Goff is out because he had to get surgery on his thumb. The Rams are a beat-up football team right now. They have the defense to go the distance and to be competitive in the playoffs, and I still think this will be a competitive game. However, just because the Seahawks are a little bit more at full strength and they got some of that offensive firepower, I don't believe in the Rams' backup QB to go toe-to-toe with Russell Wilson. Then again, it is the Seahawks defense, so and QBs never really face each other. I always hated that saying. Like, it's never Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers. It's versus the defenses. Russell Wilson might struggle against this defense, but they just beat him a couple weeks ago, so I'm going to go with the Seahawks.
Whoa! You don't even know what I'm picking yet. You can't write anything down. Going for an S, though. All right.
Rounding up our Saturday matchups, you got man baby Brady and the Buccaneers taking on the Washington football team. You did it with a losing record. You clinched the NFC East, guys.
Woo!
You did it. Mostly because the Eagles, threw the game, but
No, they earned it.
Did they not?
There was no throwing.
Did they? Well, Alex Smith did throw 2 interceptions.
That's fair. But not on purpose.
The Buccaneers were able to decimate the Atlanta Falcons, scoring a whole lot of points. Antonio Brown getting in on the action, Godwin getting in on the action. However, Mike Evans injured. We do not know the extent of his injury. He might miss Saturday's game. That could be a big problem. The Washington football team, the fact that they're hosting a home game is ridiculous. They have the defense to potentially contain man baby Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Monkey puppy.
Do they have the offense to do so?
Monkey puppy baby? Right? Is that it? Monkey puppy baby.
I don't know. To any of the things that are being said here. The Buccaneers should win this football game. However, I am holding out hope that the Washington football team does upset them just because it would be so delicious. And Tom Brady being eliminated in the wild card round for the 2nd year in a row. I mean, listen, it ain't going to achieve world peace, but it's going to be real close. But I will go with my gut and say the Buccaneers.
I'm going with Washington.
Thanks, man. Kicking off our Sunday games, you got the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Tennessee Titans. The Ravens rushed for over 400 yards on the Cincinnati Bengals last week and held them to 3 points. Yeah, that was bad. The Titans got into a little bit of a close game with the Texans, but were able to pull away the W. Derrick Henry rushing for over 200 yards, also rushing for over 2,000 yards on the season.
Wow.
Yeah. This is a rematch of last year's divisional round in which the Titans shocked the world, defeating the Ravens. However, the Titans, they have a historically bad defense this year. Their offense, real good with A.J. Brown, Corey Davis doing well, and of course, Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill playing well. But the Baltimore Ravens right now, they hot. They real hot. And I'm going to go with the momentum here. I don't think Lamar Jackson is going to have a problem scoring on this defense, and I think they just might outscore the Tennessee Titans. So I'm going to go with the Ravens here.
I'll go with the Ravens.
Somehow making the playoffs into our next game. You got the mediocre Chicago Bears taking on Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. The Bears, you didn't even win your last game, but you got into the playoffs because the Cardinals lost, so kudos to you. They kept it real close with the Green Bay Packers up until the fourth quarter when Aaron Rodgers was like, okay, I'm done playing now. And then you didn't. It was the throat needle, I think, that really did you in. And I was thinking about taking these out for the Saints game, but now I'm going to leave them in. The Saints were able to decimate the Panthers even without a running back. Drew Brees played really, really well, had 3 touchdowns on the day. and Ty Montgomery rushing for over 100 yards. They should theoretically be back at full strength, hopefully, this week. I think this is going to be a closer game than a lot of people anticipate. The Bears defense is good. Secondary, could go either way. And while Trubisky, he wasn't like god-awful, he also wasn't good. If they have to match points with the Saints, they ain't going to win. The only shot they have is to make Drew Brees uncomfortable, and he is not mobile, so they could do it. That being said, I'm still going to go with the Saints.
Saints!
After 18 years into our next game,
ooh, is this the Browns?
you have the Browns?
The Browns?
The Browns.
The Browns.
Ending their 18-year playoff drought is the Cleveland Browns.
Hey, see?
They did it.
It's all about hope.
I mean, they got punished for actually winning a game a couple years ago, and they got free Bud Light, which, wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But you did it. You beat the Steelers. Steelers almost came back, and they also had Mason Rudolph in. But
they played the Steelers last week, and they're playing them again this week.
The Steelers almost had a comeback with Mason Rudolph, but were held at bay by the Cleveland Browns, and now here we are again in some deja vu. This time, though, the Steelers will be playing their starters. This should be a pretty darn good game. This should be a close game. The Browns, they're trying to get into that second round. They're trying. Will they be successful? It depends on what Steeler team shows up, to be completely honest. The Browns are going to have to rely on a dominant run game with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt to really have a shot here. The Browns pass rush also needs to get after the quarterback, something that they really didn't do this past Sunday. The Steelers, they got everything to lose here. One, losing to the Browns is, bad enough, but two,
losing 2 weeks in a row to the Browns.
That would be even worse. But three, the fact that they started off so hot and now so not.
Cold.
No. Well, you messed it up. Yep.
Well, we were going with opposites.
I was going with rhymes.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Hot and not is like kind of also an opposite.
Yeah. So it's hot and cold.
Sure. So I was still sticking with the theme. I just added the extra layer of rhyming to it, and you just poo-pooed that.
Poo-poo.
Speaking of the Browns. Anyway, with the Steelers, they have no run game to speak of. Their defense is pretty damn good. And their wide receivers have been tearing it up, whether it's Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, or Juju Smith-Schuster. It'll be a close game, but I think the Steelers will do just enough to get it done. I don't have a ton of confidence in that pick, though.
I'm going with the Browns.
You believe in the dog pound. That's what they are, the Browns. They're called the dog pound. But let us know what you think down in the comments below. How do you see these playoff games shaking up? And don't worry, babies. Next week, your Green Bay Packers return. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com or at TomGrossiComedy, all social media you see down below. Check out podcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Music, Spotify, and of course the YouTubes. And a big shout out and thank you to all the patrons and YouTube members. But thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week when we only have to talk about 4 games.
Woo!
How are we going to stretch that out?
We're not stretching.
An hour and a half.
No.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi.
I'm Jade Grossi.
And as always, go Pack Go.
Bye.
Are the Vikings coming back next week?